gonna blast out the announcements. We are
I
live.
need to check on
Hello
YouTube.
everyone.
We are live?
Welcome
Yes,
to
we are live.
yes, welcome to the official Distant Worlds 3 podcast. Tonight we are hosting our friends from Lave Radio, Lave and Phoenix the Fire. Say hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
Yeah, this is actually something I wanted to do on Distant Worlds 2 already when we did the interviews thing. So I'm glad that we eventually got around to this.
It's been a bear with real life and everything, hasn't it?
Yes. Scheduling is always a problem.
Yeah.
I'm lucky
Yeah,
to do Tuesday nights.
Yeah, the scheduling difficulties for this particular episode kind of led to that we pushed back the entire thing by 2 hours. So
Well, I appreciate
the
it.
whole podcast just starts later regularly now because it makes it easier for most people to be available.
Yeah, I mean, I will admit, from my perspective, 7 p.m. is doable but rushing.
Yeah, dinner is probably in a way, right? At least it's for me sometimes. So yeah, will you kind of introduce yourselves individually? Let's start with Eid or Eid. How do you pronounce your own name actually?
So Eid is probably as good as anything. Okay, short history of my name. Way back in the dawn of time, now it feels, back when I was Christ.
When you were Christ? Oh my
yeah.
god.
Sorry, did you guys not know that? Back probably about 35 plus years ago, I had to pick an alias for a laser tag game. And I was in the middle of the production of The Sound of Music, and I was having a brain fart. So the only thing that really came up to me was the character I was playing was Max Detweiler. But I, for some reason I decided, okay, well, I'm just going to say Edelweiss. And then the guy said, how do you spell that? I was like, I don't know. And so we wind up misspelling Edelweiss. But I kind of stuck with it.
Oh. Okay, I kind of get it.
Yeah.
How you could end up with Edelweiss.
Oh, and so Edelweiss has been my primary character name in multiple RPGs and MMOs and so on, basically since then. And ISC for that matter as well, yeah. But yeah, that's where that came from. For anyone who doesn't know, I originally played Elite back on the BBC, way back even earlier than that. Loved playing that while listening to the Final Countdown by Europe. I missed out on the entire frontier age of Elite, mostly because I was more interested in Girls in University at the time. But then when I found out that there was going to be the Elite 3. I was not constantly, but I was frequently dipping in and out of the Elite forums just to see if there was ever going to be any kind of news. And then I learned they were doing a Kickstarter, and of course I had to get on board. And did that eventually. Got into the beta, which got into the beta. Grant then gave me access to his son's account, which very promptly got me into the alpha. Because I was like, yeah, I need to play this on my own account now. So that was like another 80 quid or something like that to upgrade to get in the alpha. So played the alpha, played the beta, played the gamma, got into the main thing, and been here ever since, really.
So a real old timer. Real OG.
Oh god, yeah. It feels like it.
One of OG.
And Phoenix, how about you?
Oh, right. Well, if you think he's an old timer,
Yes,
well,
yes.
yeah. Well, Phoenix of Fire comes from the first ever D&D character I created back in first edition back in 1985. So, and that kind of stuck with me ever since. Yeah, I played I think every single version of Elite apart from the one on the MSX. So yeah, I got at the MSX. It came out in the MSX.
So, okay, what was an MSX? Sorry.
And MSX was the first attempt from I think it was a Japanese company that tried to break into the British computer market. And yeah, it was supposed to be the new hotness, but nobody would give up their Commodore 64s or Spectrums to use it. So yeah, I've been playing one version of Elite or another since 1984. And along comes Elite Dangerous, and I go, oh, I'll have a bit of that then, and basically, I think the appropriate phrase is jauntied up until I got to DDF level, which I kind of wish I hadn't, but yeah. So, and then for the last 11 years, both me and him have been doing Lave Radio.
I can't believe he's been doing this since. Okay, right. I'm going to ask Colin a question here. Do you still feel imposter syndrome on Fozzer, Jarvis, Alan,
No.
and Stabler?
No,
I still, even though I know we've been doing the live show longer than they have, I still feel imposter syndrome to those guys.
they did it for 2 years. We've done it for 11.
I know.
So,
I know this, but I just feel when I see Fozzer or somebody like that, it's just like it still feels imposter syndrome to me.
yeah, I mean, it'd be nice if the original crew would come back every now and again, but that hasn't happened for
I
quite a
see
while.
them sometimes in game.
Okay, give me a rundown on Lave Radio, how that thing started and how you got into it. Because you say imposter syndrome, I assume I'm gathering from that you've not been there from the very start.
No, the both of us came into Lave Radio, I think we were in, there was a sister podcast called Retro Lave that we were involved in, where as the development of Elite was happening, we were looking at older computer games that Elite could take influence from, like X-Wing or Privateer and things like that. And we were in there from the very beginning, near enough. And then as things progressed and as the hosts began to take a break, we would fill in. We'd be the substitutes, if you like. And then eventually, as people dropped away, we took over. So, yeah, the Lave Radio podcast has been going for about 13 years now. And, well, I suppose it's because we've got a 400 million star playing field to all play around with. Oh, sorry, 400 million. Is it 400 million or just 400?
400 billion. I'm
400
wondering
billion.
right now. Elite Dangerous.
I guess it depends how you call it, doesn't it?
It's an unfathomable number.
Yeah.
It's yes, it's got a lot of zeros in it. So yeah, and that's
400
that's
billion star systems.
yeah,
There's a big difference from million to billion.
yes, quite right. Because if it had only been 400 million, we would have exploded by now.
Well,
Possibly.
No. It's seriously. If you look up the amount of systems that the community has actually managed to explore, even though they say it's 0.07, that is still over almost 300 million systems that people have managed to log.
Yeah.
It's a phenomenally large number.
Jeez.
that is, isn't it? Yeah. Christ.
Yeah, so
mean,
if we had 400 million total, we could be saying like, oh, we'll get there. We get this done.
yeah.
Yeah, get it done, and then we would find Raxler by now.
I was talking to somebody about Raxler the other day, but I'm also I don't know. He's got a theory, as everybody does.
Oh.
I was going to say it's sworn to secrecy, but I also asked him not to tell anything. Yeah, it does feel like everybody's always.
Have you
looking
given
for
this
Some people are always looking for Raxler.
Have you given this gigantic forum thread a read through? Because you'll find like any
It's funny.
theory that anyone has ever had is somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Oh no, you go nuts looking for that damn thing. It is literally a needle in a haystack. it's no.
Yeah, I mean, I just looked up how much was explored. It's like 0.0653% as of October 2, 2025.
Mhm.
Not even 0.5%. Not even just half of a percent. Not even. I'm not. Sorry.
Half of a tenth
That's not right.
of a percent.
Yeah, not even a tenth of a percent. That's half of a tenth of a percent. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but even then, that's what 300 million stars.
Yeah, 261 million. So if it had been 400 million, we would another 5 years maybe. Tops.
Yeah, I know, but it will never be explored, not unless
No, never.
not unless something bizarre happens and everybody in the world gets a free copy, and then they all go exploring.
Not even then.
Actually, no. You think about it. I mean, that is one thing about this game is that when you get to the galaxy map and you zoom out, and it's the closest we've got to the total perspective vortex from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. He's just there thinking, that is so big, and I am so small.
Yeah.
Can't even.
It is very big.
I mean, even if you zoom out all the way, you still have to like scroll to the edge and then pan your camera to actually see the entire galaxy.
Yeah, it's not easy, is it?
That's one of the things that I always like watching is when a newbie or someone who's streaming who's never seen the galaxy map before suddenly does that and zooms out, and then you can just watch their mind go pop.
I had that moment at some point, because when I started playing the game, the map mode was automatically. Was it automatically or was it through some other coincidence? Was set to the power play mode, and you had these colorful bubbles.
Yes,
and
I remember that.
I didn't notice that there are different map modes, so I thought that all I could see in these colorful bubbles, that was the entire game.
Oh, right, I see.
Yeah, and then a friend who've been playing Final Fantasy XIV with told me that he also started playing Lead, and we kind of started at the same time. And he told me about hey, there's something going on about the star system that's like 60,000 light years away. I was like, what? I started looking into it, and then I figured out, oh, you can zoom out a lot more.
I have to ask, how long had you been playing the game for at this point?
A couple of weeks.
Okay, that's respectable then.
That's all right. It's just if you've been playing it for 3 years and then all of a sudden someone said, "Oh, have you tried zooming out?"
Wait, you can zoom out?
Yeah. There might be some people, you never know. Like not everyone joins like forums and stuff, and then they play a game like this, right? Although I guess for this kind of game it's more likely, since there's so much that the game doesn't really teach you, so you kind of have to start looking things up, and then you stumble across the forums eventually.
Yeah, you'll end up in the community one way or another.
I must admit, the one thing that I do feel a little bit disappointed about when they updated Power Play is that it got rid of all those little bubbles, because now you can't see how big the human bubble is.
Wait, really? Hold on. I have to check this.
Yeah, good thing Maggie's in
I
game
mean,
right now.
this whole learning process is one of the key reasons. Well, why even now, after 13 years, we've still got a section called Mostly Clueless, and I think we're still learning little bits from other people who play the game different ways. I thought, oh, you can do that.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, the bubbles are gone. You still see colored star systems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you zoomed out, you see the whole human bubble in the bubbles. If you see what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean that whole jellyfish view was kind of beautiful, even it was a bit confusing.
Well, I didn't find it confusing at all. But then again, I was the only person that played Power Play 1, I think.
Maybe not the only person, but
Well,
yeah.
some people have been colonizing with Power Play pretty far.
Mm.
Oh yeah, the colonization stuff is yeah.
I have not looked into Power Play once since I started playing the game.
Well, and that's one of the beautiful things about it is that you don't have to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If
But
it doesn't
I want
appeal
to
to
at some
you, it's
point.
not going to spoil your gameplay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I've not proud. No, actually, maybe almost proudly. I don't know. I am not a believer in colonization or fleet carriers. Even though I'll happily use other people's, and I've been loving the fact that Distant Worlds has had the fleet carrier for me to, sit back and relax on, basically.
Commander Gamer Joe says that if they make a CG for it, we will. They did.
Yeah.
Not even too long ago. We had Power Play community goals.
Yeah.
And the elections. Weren't that the elections?
Yeah. How pissed off was I over that, Colin?
Even I called that.
I was like, "Damn you! You're making me sign up for a power in order to get like some fancy module."
Oh, he meant
Like,
to
you
find
know,
Raxla.
He says, "Okay."
Oh, that'd be cool.
no.
If I had one to find Raxla.
You think that will change anything?
Wasn't it like that with that permit lock system?
I mean, if they make a
had,
community goal for it,
bios?
then that means it is definitely in the game.
We've heard rumors from devs that it is, or something is.
Something is in the game, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
something.
If you talk to Drew about that topic, then I can give you some insight as to how much these statements hold, because they've been made by a person who got moved to another project, and yeah, there's some not so fun things involved with all that. So
yeah, it's sad that my sources, has unfortunately moved beyond the veil.
Yes.
Yeah, and that as well.
Yeah.
But anyway, you are involved with Power Play, or you were involved with Power Play, and you wanted to tell a little story about it.
Colin is involved with Power Play.
Oh, yeah.
I was pissed off that we had a CG that made me have to be involved with Power Play.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but he joined a power, and then quite gleefully, once the CG was over, he quit.
See ya!
Power. He quit that power with the rude hand gestures. So
Yeah.
They don't hunt you if you quit, right? They might do if you immediately switch to another one. Isn't that the thing?
Yeah, if you abandon your power and you join one of the others, there is a cooldown period where you will be hunted by agents of your previous power. So depends on how high up you got on the power rankings. So if you quit after a couple of days and join, so it only happens if you join another power. If you just quit and don't join another power, you're not affected. But they will come after you if you quit and join another power and you've been with them for about, I don't know, 10, 20 cycles or something.
That's actually pretty cool. That is a thing.
I think we what how did it go again? We had the power play CG stuff, and then did we have the Roy DeConda stuff, or Roy Decoder, or however you pronounce it?
Yeah, that was the next thing, which led to the Enclave. That
And then and that led to, okay. So it was we had the do we have the flower picking, and then we had the
we had the
power play.
Yeah, it was the flower picking first, and then the Enclave happened.
Right, and then essentially Distant Worlds 3 kicked off, so I buggered off over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think you guys had sort of disappeared off while the Enclave was still happening, but then by then it was petering out.
I was bored anyway. Oh, that's actually I've got a Nagy and Michael. Do we have to watch our language? I need to remember this.
No.
Okay, good. Phew. I just suddenly thought I know on Lave Radio we can and do swear.
Yes, you can do here too.
Yeah. I try to be professional usually, but it usually doesn't fucking work.
Yeah, well, I've learned that trying to be professional just makes you look unprofessional. So don't even try.
Yeah, that's true as well.
I was just checking down that there's been one community goal for the Kestrel since the Distant Worlds relaunch.
Yeah.
I think there's been any other.
What do you make of the Kestrel? Have you tried one out yet, or
no?
Nope.
I'm very much not interested in this ship.
What about yourself, Michael?
Yeah. It looks like a tortoise.
Wow, that's a new one.
And
Really?
it's kind of the complete opposite, right? It's like the most agile ship ever.
Oh god, yeah.
Oh, you're doing tortoises a disservice there.
Tortoises
really
can
fast.
run.
They aren't slow at all.
Yeah. I have to admit, she's a fun little ship to fly, and I know. I think on like the day that she was launched, because she came out on Tuesday, so I was broadcasting from the Odysseus, and there were people basically hooning around the Odysseus's bar, outside, looking over the flight bay and things like that, and they were just like hooning up to the window and then doing a flip and kind of burning back, and it was a lovely little impromptu air show, I have to admit.
Yeah, I guess people are kind of missing me being there today. I hopped into my main account and I hopped off to do the mass jump with it, and I haven't logged in all week, so I'm still at waypoint 6 with my main account now. So I need to get jumping actually, and catch back up.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I have to admit, whoever had the idea of having the carriers sticking with the fleet and joining, you guys have freed up so much time to allow me to live my life as well. So thank you. Even though
maybe
I don't believe
too
in
much
carriers,
for me,
thank you so
because
much to the guys flying it.
I for myself have noticed that I've not really done any exploring on Distant Worlds yet, and we are going to waypoint 7 now, or we are at waypoint 7 now.
Yeah, 7 now.
That's absolutely not how I did Distant Worlds 2.
Yeah, I mean, definitely different. I've been exploring a lot more in Distant Worlds 2 as well, but I'm only starting to get started now.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't consider dashing from waypoint to waypoint to waypoint as exploring.
That's also not what I did on Distant Worlds 2. I did actual exploring, but this it's made me lazy. I've been playing other games and just watched stuff like events that were going on Twitch. I've watched Foundation, all 3 seasons.
Yeah, that's.
I've not watched Foundation. I really should, shouldn't I?
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, great sci-fi. I mean, all the kind of recent bigger there were a few sci-fi adaptations that really turned out nicely. Foundation was just one of them, and of course I forgot which ones the others were, as usual. But we should maybe get back to Lave Radio a little, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, like staying on topic.
Oh, we do not stay on topic.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for. But when exactly did Lave Radio start? Did it start with the launch of Elite Dangerous, or did it like
no,
Before.
it was a year before. It started in February 2013.
year before?
Yeah,
That's
that was one of the
During the
reasons.
alpha.
Yeah, that's even a year before the alpha even came out. So, Lave Radio was running for 2 years before the game was actually released. So,
Yeah, 22nd of February 2013 is when our first podcast went up. So this was probably recorded, frankly. This was probably recorded back in January, the length of time it used to take Bosra and Alan and Jarvis to edit the shows. I don't think I know when they. I don't think we know when they recorded it, but it went out. It went live, 22nd of February 2013.
yeah. So
that's kind of awesome.
yeah, and that's why there was this other podcast running at the same time called Retro Lave, because there was nothing. All we'd actually seen were the images in the Kickstarter and some of the speculation that they put in. So what we decided, what the guys that originally started Lave Radio decided to do was look at space games that are of a similar theme and see what could be used in those games that we could expect in Elite Dangerous. So we went over, what was it, Free Space, X-Wing, TIE Fighter, Privateer, obviously, because that's, Freelancer. And my favorite was iWar, which was a space simulator so complicated that it came with a.
Only you could play it.
Yeah, only I could play it, and there was just like a 200-page thick manual that came with it that I'd actually memorized, which is where they get the chief archivist from.
Nice. Sounds
So-
I think
interesting.
you've actually remembered pretty much all of them, Colin. Did you do Tacky in the Fringe?
No, that's one that. Yeah, that was the one with Bruce Campbell, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the game that's with the main character was voiced by Bruce Campbell. So yeah, that was. Yeah, it was a good game, but when you go back to this is one weird thing. When you go back to those old games, the problem is that the X-axis on the joystick is always yaw, and you've got no way to change it to roll. So all that muscle memory that you've got playing Elite Dangerous basically screws you over for playing any other space game.
Oh,
New
no.
Zealand.
I believe you can in X-Wing Alliance, is it? The last X-Wing game. And I
Or you
think
need the
Free
tool
Space
that
allows you
just
to rewind.
that just modifies your input signal before it goes to the game, I guess.
Yeah, I
also
mean,
cool.
yeah,
An
there's
update
some.
to- You go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, there's some sort of middleware that you can put in that will allow you to switch axes and things like that, but I've never managed to get that to work.
I'm sure X-Wing Alliance allows you to do it.
There's actually a remake of X-Wing Alliance. Hang on, what was it called? The TIE Fighter Total Conversion. Yeah.
Yeah, that's remaking TIE Fighter in
In
the
X-Wing
X-Wing Alliance engine, but using a
With-
whole load of the resources from TIE Fighter, and then upgrading everything to High Heaven, and it is
Yeah, and that's
amazing.
also- It is amazing, yeah, and it also has a kind of remake or modernization of X-Wing Alliance.
Yeah.
which is also I have posted the link so everyone can look at it.
I lost so many hours to that game.
Yeah,
I've actually never played
actually,
them.
it's well worth it, Nagi. It is such. I mean, if you like Star Wars, it is such a good game.
I do like Star Wars.
Yes,
In fact.
then it's for you. Especially
Yeah,
in the
I mean-
modernized version, it's very, very. It aged like wine, kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. There's like my to-play list of games is very, very long. I wish. That's actually my biggest problem. Is most days, I feel quite tired in the afternoon and evening, and I don't feel really motivated to play games these days.
Yeah.
It happens way too often.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the biggest hurdle. But yeah, I wanna go through a whole bunch of Warhammer games that I've
Okay,
bought
that's
last
like
year
a
on
big
sale.
hole.
I
Have you
guess like my
played
big
Star
thing.
Wars
And I also
Squadrons?
got gifted from a friend Halseel. I got gifted the Deus Ex, the is it third game? Human Revolution.
Revolution.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love.
So I
Deus
need to
Ex.
play that.
And that is worth playing. That one is.
Deus Ex is amazing.
Yeah, I played
Little thing I
I played
found
the
actually-
first one on stream.
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. The very first one set in New York.
yeah.
Yeah. I played that when it was first time around. It was so good.
It had good parts, but it also had some frustrating parts. I'm completely honest.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. I know my feeling with Deus Ex Human Revolution was it was a great game, but it only felt like it was 2/3 of the game. And that really felt like it was like, okay, we've done this great game and we've now run out of money.
Oh,
We've stopped.
okay.
I finished at some point.
That's yeah. Well,
Well, hang
I'll
on, but
see if
this-
I will feel the same way about it.
Apparently, they had money to make what's the sequel called like
Mankind Divided.
Yeah,
Mankind Divided, exactly.
I would actually disagree with Ben there. I would
Oh,
say,
sorry, was Mankind Divided the last one?
yeah, Mankind
be-
Divided was the last one.
Sorry, there's that one that I feel that finishes
Yeah,
like halfway through. Sorry.
Human Revolution, especially if you have the director's cut, is really good. It's because it includes the DLCs and that just fills out the story completely. But then you go on to Mankind Divided, and you know that they held back the proper ending for it for a DLC, but it didn't make enough money, so they just cancelled it at that point.
What's the other
And-
built half a chuffing game?
Yeah, I'd say 2/3. I think it's missing a third.
Yeah, that I'd agree with there. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, that did my
unfortunate.
head in.
Okay, someone requested to speak. Lightseeker just joined. Ooh, I don't recognize. Say
I
hello.
did watch a speedrunner when Mankind Divided came out, and I watched his first playthrough.
Yeah.
And then he went glitch hunting, which was
Hey,
very
what's
fun
up?
to see.
Hello?
Hello.
I think
Hello.
that's like speaker in.
Yeah, okay, guys, I have a question here. You know how they're saying that not to turn in cartographic data until we reach a certain point? I've never heard of that before. I don't know why they're doing that. It says to wait until at least waypoint 8. What does that mean? Why are we turning in
Ooh.
cartographic data only at a certain time?
Well, you
That's
will
a very
find out.
Question. Why are we going? Yes.
Yeah, you.
Some people have
cannot
been making
anyone
some good guesses in the chat channels.
I suspect the answer. Yeah, I don't know any answer, obviously, because I'm just flying along. I'm just hanging out with the fleet. my personal suspicion is we'll find out.
We will, of
Reason-
course, tie into the
I guess
narrative.
Yeah.
It'd be weird if we wouldn't find out.
So where are we supposed to turn them in? Where in waypoint 8?
We cannot
You
answer
you
that.
will find out.
I mean, if you want to sell them. Feel free. That's just a suggestion to save it for later.
I think the
Okay.
appropriate phrase is hashtag spoilers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Credits our own
I haven't
guardians,
really-
and they are pissed at
yeah,
us.
I
I haven't really participated in going to waypoints. How do you go to waypoint 8?
It's not announced yet, right?
Hasn't
We
been
are
announced
still on 7. This week is still at waypoint 7.
You'll waypoint 8 is gonna be announced on Sunday as usual.
Yo.
Okay.
And I know this is a little counterproductive since we have this high gravity event tomorrow. well aware of that. Unfortunately, that it just turned out this way, and we couldn't do it differently.
So, if I remember rightly, if you pancake on a high G land, on a high G world, that's it. You've lost all your exploration data.
Yeah.
So, land carefully.
Land carefully, and if you have a Caspian, you will have less problems, I believe. I've not even tested that myself yet. I haven't been to a high G world with Caspian yet.
Oh, I
But yeah,
have.
the flutters definitely make a difference.
The Caspian in a high G world, as you're flying at that extra high attack angle, especially in VR, it's underwear changing times. Because you suddenly realise how close the Caspian does go to. Normally you come out of the Super Cruise maybe a couple of kilometers up at that angle, but at this, when they come up with the Caspian seems to go another extra kilometer. the worlds come up to you a lot faster than you were expecting.
Yeah,
Perhaps the high gravity event is a ploy to make us all experience the despair of losing your cartographic data. I promise you, it's not a ploy. It's really just because that is the first high G planet that I found near one of our waypoints. I did find another one, but that's a much later waypoint, and there is another kind of event for high gravity environments that I want to do, but that one is even riskier.
Speedballing!
That one is even riskier than the current one, so yeah, here we are. I mean, I guess you can well, you know what kind of pilot you are, how well you can handle high G environments. Like if you're inexperienced, then make a choice: either sell it or don't
Pancake.
go don't go to the high G planet at all, or just risk it. That's the three options you have. So I mean, I know I can handle it, so I'm just gonna do it.
Just hope we don't bump into anyone in distant ganks.
Yeah. Well, what I will say is, if someone can film you coming down, and you don't judge it right, that will go down as one of those classic Elite Dangerous videos.
I did host the high G training event before the expedition, so that's that.
Oh, that's fair.
And I landed on the 9G world, so.
Ah, right. Well, you will probably be fine, but
Yeah.
it'll still be funny.
With this cutter, by the way.
Yeah. The cutter, I love the cutter. I have thoughts and feelings about the new range of ships, and I do love them, but I'm starting to miss some of my other ships. But I just feel like I can't. It's like I could play in my cutter or my crate,
But they
But
just feel
then I've got-
inferior, right?
Yeah,
System
Yeah.
scan complete.
and it's just like there's no way to really bring them up into the same level as the Panther Clippers thing.
Complete.
Is this live? Maybe.
Yeah,
Make a guess.
I
Now,
I
this
must
is
admit, I used
obviously pre-recorded. We anticipated you typing that in chat.
to-
Frameshift drive charging.
I mean, I used to explore my exploration commander used to fly in a Clipper. My exploration experience is that I'm flying to Colonia. I started flying to Colonia when Odyssey was released, but I mean this commander is very part-time. But I made the rule that if I came across any planet that had 2 or more biologicals on it, I would stop, land, scan both, as many that were on there, and carry on. And so far, it's what now, 5 years since Odyssey is launched, and I'm still about 1,000 light years away from Colonia. But it's
Wait,
yes.
kind of
I'm
jump
not on
range?
Distant Worlds 3.
what was that? Sorry, Mikkel.
We just expose you. If you're 1,000 light years from Colonia, you're not on Distant Worlds 3, are you?
No, I'm not.
Alan's not.
The only person on Distant World 3 here is Eid.
Well, it sounds like
Well-
Maggie's not even on Distant Worlds 3 at the moment.
I am.
From
I'm
what
just
you-
a little
from
bit
what you
behind.
were talking earlier.
And torches,
Pardon?
pitchforks and torches for those who need someone. We need someone.
Yeah, you can buy a
we need to
bundle,
punish
a
someone
pitchfork
for
and a
being
torch for just £5.
Can we get some down at in shacks or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll give us some. And
If I were
Sorry.
a Twitch streamer, I would probably have those as like what are they called, like bits or something. You can call them something, and then pitchforks and torches, definitely.
Pitchforks
stars,
and
not
torches.
Hearts, no diamonds, pitchforks, torches, and well,
Oh yes,
whatever
in the
else used
adverts.
for lynching mobs.
Oh yeah, we did back when Distant Radio started. We got some of the ads from you guys.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Some
I
of
think
them.
I remember we
are
shared a
new
bunch
ones.
of the ads, like back when Distant Radio started for DW2, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
If you
actually
have more
did-
ads, we will gladly take them and put them in rotation.
I don't have permission to share our newer ads. That's Claire and Chris who've done the majority of them. I know Jarvis is. I know Jarvis is happy to share any of his original things that he's done.
I mean, if you're listening, get in touch, please. Yeah.
Yeah.
let me just, I have been saving a question about Lave Radio. I mean, it's not an important question, but you're doing weekly broadcasts. Has that
Yeah.
been going on since the very start? I've like 578 episodes. That must be 13 years, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. We have taken some weeks off.
System scan.
We have taken a couple of weeks off every now and again, mostly Christmas and New Year. But yeah, although admittedly lately it's getting more and more difficult to actually keep consistent, coming up with new stuff, because after a while you feel like you're going to be going over the same stuff again. So every now and again, I think every 6 weeks or so, we'll just look at what's happening and just go, oh, there's not enough there to do a show this time, so we'll skip that.
Although, frankly, sometimes some of the weeks when we're like, you know what, there's absolutely no news. wind up being some of our longer shows.
Yeah, because it we end up doing this. We end up going on some kind of tangent. And before you know it, we've filled 2 hours full of absolute guff.
Yeah. Yeah, what have we done? We've done 670 odd shows, which is about 1,180 hours of content.
Oh, that's
Oh.
considerable.
Which is ridiculous.
I know.
I don't think we can ever get to that amount. I mean, we are doing a weekly podcast during Distant Worlds, but I had the same issue thinking about what to do on the podcast. If we keep if we kept it going after Distant Worlds 2, we would have ran out of ideas like a few months after, because it's really hard doing or coming up with actual especially repeatable ideas, which kind of are usual stuff like news, for example. But that's already covered by so many other content creators, like the Galnet News Digest and also Obsidian Ant and Burp Pit and Science Keeper, and everyone's taking care of the in-game news already. So we are kind of left without anything that we could make our own.
Yeah, I mean,
besides World, of course.
Yeah, I mean, we do our own. We all report on the same news, but we all just put our own unique spin in it. So, in the case of Lave Radio, you'll hear exactly the same information as the Burrs or Obsidian Ant, only stretched out over 2 hours instead of just 10 minutes. So,
or Hillbilly Radio as well. You know, they'll do the same content, only sounding slightly more knowledgeable and American.
yeah. So,
I mean, I think if you want actual informed decisions, you probably want to listen to Hillbillies, don't you, Colin? What's their real? I'm having a brain fart.
What? Loose
Hillbilly
Screws?
Redneck Radio, last at Loose Screws.
Yeah, we used to call them Hillbilly Redneck Radio because they used to be presented by Ty, who's got this fantastic southern accent. So basically, he did sound as if he came from the Alabama, the swamp. No offense, Ty, but
Oh no.
no. And yeah, it's just a fantastic accent that you just couldn't help think. Obviously, there's someone who knows a banjo, but
but I lost my train of thought. Sorry.
Yay!
Yeah. That's regarding tangents. No. All right. Just random other questions. Are you guys, you two in particular? I know Lave Radio is gonna be there. Are you two gonna be at the ECM this year?
Pretty good, Colin.
well, I know you are, but I'm not going to be able to make it this year. I made it last year, but
Usually you can make it, can't you?
yeah, but this time a holiday was booked, and
Yeah.
I didn't know what the dates were, and then before I know it, so that means no Elite Miniatures this year either, which I'm a bit.
Unless you can arrange somebody to do it for you, maybe.
I'd never get them back.
Give them the cow.
Yeah.
I don't think Cow's going to make
The
it. actually, by
return
the
of
time
the things
it's-
can be handled by the organizers, I bet.
But no, usually, I think since before COVID days, Dave has, he's always seemed to manage to arrange ECM either when I'm on holiday or when at least my kids are on holiday and I have responsibilities to play Daddy Ben. So, you know, Daddy Ben usually takes priority over Commander Edelweiss, which is a bit of a pain in the arse because I want to go to ECM and I love it. But this year it's in September. I'm not on holiday. The kids aren't on holiday, and I actually I've received a wife pass. so I'm allowed to go. And unfortunately, Colin's on holiday. So you swapped Colin out for me.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't get a Ryanair flight back just for the one day. I wish I
think
could.
I think your missus might have something to say about that as well.
Yes, it'll be normally along the lines of, here's the divorce papers.
See, if I suggested that to my missus, she'll be like, yeah, sure, go. And did he come back? Yeah, please go. What about yourselves, Irani? You guys gonna make it?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
Awesome.
I still need
booked our
to
rooms and
book
already
flights, but
also-
I've also booked another England trip in July, and I noticed that Ryanair did a funny, and the usually time-wise convenient connection for me is now no longer going to Hamburg, but it's instead going to Lübeck, which has a really, really small airport. When you look at it on Google Maps, it doesn't even look like it could serve commercial flights, so small. I don't know. I don't feel very inclined to go to that airport, so I'll be
I don't know
stuck
where
with
to
flying to Heathrow instead.
Oh.
And Heathrow is kind of on the wrong side of London if I want to go to ECM, so that's a bit of a hassle.
No, it's not. Heathrow's on the southeast, isn't it?
Yeah,
Wait,
south,
And Coventry's.
and Coventry is
Coventry-
north.
Yeah, but it's still it's north and.
Yeah, but I have to
east.
go through the entirety of
Yeah,
London.
Yeah, you'll have to go through
I-
London on the train.
It might be too late for you, but are you able to fly to Birmingham?
I don't have any flights to Birmingham.
Okay, because I think to get to Coventry, Birmingham's probably your best airport.
Yeah, but
went there
no,
last year, didn't
I
you?
would have to switch in Brussels or something.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
that'd
don't
be a
know
pain.
how I'm flying it. I only booked the room and the tickets for the event itself.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think flights are gonna be. I'm gonna consider those next month.
That's
Always
fair.
tight of a tight budget
Where
for
the
me.
fuck is this last planet? What the hell?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I enjoyed. Yeah, I'm really lucky this year because it's in Coventry.
System scan.
I can actually get a local Birmingham bus to Coventry. So I think it's going to cost. I think it's going to cost me all of £5 to get
that's-
to.
Yeah,
Coventry.
nice.
So yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, I think Coventry's just on the boundary of of where the thing's cut off, but I can get there on a local bus ticket. So I'm going to make all the use of that.
All right, so if I fly to Birmingham, I can do the same. Is that what you're
Or
saying?
you can either if you let me just. I'm sure there's direct train from Birmingham as well.
Oh, there is. There's a direct train from Birmingham Airport to
Coventry.
Coventry, and it's just, I think, 10 to 15 minutes on the train.
Not
So-
far at all.
It's not far.
Yeah, even from
talking
London,
about-
it's 1 hour on the train.
Yeah.
I thought it's the price.
UK trains are terrible, but they're not that terrible.
They are less terrible than German ones.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Something.
It's funny that whenever people compare the train service, they all think ours is rubbish and yours is better.
Yeah.
But honestly,
I've
I must
never
admit, when I've been on-
missed a connection in Great Britain when I've been using trains.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And
What-
I
what
have
does that
Let's
happen
get on a
German
bus.
train
missed
to go
connections
apart?
using trains in Germany. Even Micah, you remember?
Oh wow.
Was it last year when we met in Wuppertal, or was
that
it the
was
year
the year
before
before.
that? I wanted to ride the Eurostar to go
yeah.
to London, and Eurostar has trains that start in Germany that go to Brussels and Paris, so I could change in Brussels and be on the same company. And then the German Railways decided to do some work at Cologne train station,
Yeah.
which cut that connection off, and that whole train was cancelled. And then I had to book an ICE train, so a German train, which was doing a huge detour to get to Belgium, and that was delayed by 1.5 hours. And then also it didn't go all the way to Brussels, it only went to Liège, so I then had to switch to a Belgian train in order to get to Brussels. But yeah, it was already too late to board the Eurostar, so I had to take the next one, which
Yeah.
fortunately didn't cost me any extra.
Okay, for the record,
But I
Michael,
missed the connection in London because of that,
because
which
yes,
I
it just
had
escapes.
accounted a 90-minute buffer for. And then I had to book I had to get a new ticket for that one, and that cost me like £80.
Oof.
Right, Mike. A train from Birmingham Airport to Coventry is £3.60, and will take you, as Colin said,
that's
10 minutes.
nice.
So, yeah, only reason I would actually take a bus is because I've got to get. It takes me almost as long to get to Birmingham Airport as it does for me to get from Birmingham Airport to Coventry by bus. It's
Alright,
just
so-
it's the
so-
same bus.
Nice. So if I'm going straight, I mean, if I'm going from Germany straight to the ECM, I'm probably gonna take that route. Not sure about that yet. I might actually head to England a few days before that and just go somewhere and visit some nice places. Because it's going to be the only time I actually gonna have a trip abroad this year.
Yeah, it's going to be your vacation too.
Yeah, I gotta make the best of it. And I've got like, I was thinking maybe starting a few days early and leaving a bit after the event, so I have, like 1 week in total.
Yeah, I
That
think
would be
I think
cool,
I'll
yeah.
actually stay
yeah.
2 nights in London before I go to ECM. It makes everything more stress free.
Yes, true. I'm just not sure about London or.
Yeah,
or
London
maybe,
is expensive.
something
That's,
further away.
that's the thing.
Oh, there's cheap places.
There
to
are
stay.
cheap
I
options,
have-
yes, but
I had
do
a
you
hostel in
want to
London.
take cheap? So, when the last Final Fantasy XIV Fan Fest was in London, we had one from our group of friends who stayed in a cheap place, and what they experienced was water leaking from the ceiling onto the bed and everything, and they had to get a new room or a new place to stay and fight for hours with the agencies to get their money back. So that's
Yeah.
that's the potential downside of cheap places.
Yeah, I found a cheap place that's actually quite nice. When I was last in 2023, it was when I went to Newcastle. I stayed in London for a few hours and I had to sleep, so I went to a hostel and booked the room for the entire night, but left like at 7:30 p.m. already, just for some sleep. But yeah, that place was nice and cheap, so I'll consider going back there if I'm gonna stay in London. But yeah, maybe it's gonna be Manchester or something in the north or something else.
Well, when you're in Manchester, drop us a line and I'll take you out for a beer then.
Oh, nice. Yeah. See, that's already more inviting.
And I'll point out where they're making Star Citizen, and you can laugh.
Haven't we been playing Star Citizen together at some point? I think we have.
I know I've played with. Have I played with you, Nagi?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And with Suverine.
Yeah. Oh God, I remember Sovereign used to play some Star Citizen. Yeah, that was years ago. I've not actually spoken to Sue for a while now. I know. Last I heard, he's bombing around Asia.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah, we did play some Star Citizen stuff back in the day, didn't we? Yeah, I'm still playing Star Citizen off and on as well.
I know it's sacrilege to talk about Star Citizen on an Elite Dangerous centered podcast, but
Depends what kind of person you are. I mean,
I'm still waiting for
you
Squadron
cannot
42,
deny that they
Yeah.
keep adding stuff to it.
How has it turned out to be right now? Like, how much has it changed in the last 2 years? I mean, Star Citizen. Yeah.
But we got 2 more star systems.
Yeah, I mean, well,
But
Levski's
performance-wise,
Levski's very empty, but it looks. The one station we've got is a very glorified asteroid that looks beautiful.
Right. So, I know the game is beautiful. That's not what I'm asking
Yeah.
about. But how the technical parts? How does it run better on or has it gotten worse with the system requirements?
I feel it's gotten better. I think I genuinely believe they've improved the stability of the game over the past year.
Right.
I know
mean-
when you had problems though, Colin.
I mean, I've had notorious problems with it,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was. But I got it working. Me and Ben showed me the ropes of how to get around it, but I haven't played in it in a couple of months, and I probably won't until I get the X56 back from repair. Because I don't want to spend hours setting up blooming key bindings again. But yeah, it's a heck of a lot better than what it was, and the rumor is that you can expect Squadron 42 at the end of this year.
I mean, I think the thing that excites me the most and scares the bejesus out of me is the VR in Squadron or in Star Citizen is meant to be incredible now. I haven't tried it because I'm running Linux, and I don't have I'm running Linux on an NVIDIA card, and the VR stuff is needing Vulkan, which I am running. But I haven't tried any of the hoops to get VR running on my Linux box. Yeah, I've not even tried Elite Dangerous in VR on Linux. Which
Maybe install a
I kinda
Windows
feel like I
partition
should.
and try it there.
Sorry,
Just-
Nagi?
Install a Windows partition and just
Oh,
just to try it and
I
see.
could. I've played Elite in VR on Windows. I just haven't done any of the steps to take my VR stuff over to Linux. Mostly because Elite was the only game that I ever really played in VR, and whilst I loved it, getting it out of the box and then connecting everything is a bit of a ball ache for something that I'm just as happy playing on a 4K monitor with. And it's definitely one of these. I have time and I want the experience of it, and especially with Elite, it means basically I'm locking myself out of any on-foot stuff. So I can't run around. Well, I'd be in the flat screen pancake view, running around the fleet carrier at the moment. But I could imagine flying around in a Kestrel in VR is going to be amazing, if mildly vomit-inducing.
No, it's not vomiting inducing at all. Actually, in fact,
No?
I find it easier to fly the Kestrel in VR than I am flying it in flat screen.
Okay.
Mostly because I think it's easier to track the other targets.
That's fair, yeah.
Because when this thing kicks, yeah, it
does kick.
It does kick.
Okay,
so-
I have to leave for about 20 minutes or something. I'll be back.
All right.
I think, to be fair, I think I'm gonna have to get a move on anyway.
Oh,
I don't
really?
know how long you guys. Yeah, and I think. How are you doing for time, Colin?
I'm okay for another quarter of an hour, I'm afraid, and then I'm going to
okay.
have to sign out.
Oh,
Alright,
I'll stay
let's
then.
wrap things up. Are there any more important questions, Nagi, that you had? Okay.
Yeah, you are on Distant Worlds 3, right?
I am, yeah.
And
So,
Alec.
how's
And
it been
yeah,
so
well,
far?
Alex is obviously doing the whole SRV thing on DW, isn't he?
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. We talked about that.
Yeah.
And Greece has been
Alright.
helping out.
Right.
Yeah, how has
So,
it been
follow-up
for you?
ECM,
How has the
Maggie?
expedition been for you?
I've loved it. I mean, I absolutely adore. I'm treating it like a magical mystery bus tour, essentially. So I'm riding the fleet carrier, and I'm loving the experience. When I arrive at the new location on a Sunday, when we arrive at the new location, I'll get back from seeing the wife and kids on a Sunday night, and then I can. Well, usually we're departing on a Sunday now, so it all depends on the schedule, obviously. But I know the past few weeks has been such a quick jump. I've been getting to my gaming rig on a Sunday, and I've then been just loving experiencing, and it's like, oh, we're at a neutron star today, or we're at a white dwarf or something, and then looking around and finding fun little planets to land on and do some stuff on, just explore and have a look around the area and see where you've put us this week. I've been loving that, and then when I have been here on a Saturday, or on a Sunday, sorry, I've been loving doing I love the mass jumps and stuff. They're always fun. But I've also found it's weird. I found there's been such a good sense of camaraderie on the fleet carrier. It's like we're all sort of like, people would be like all sitting down talking to each other on the fleet carrier, and then we go and do the jump. Then we all run off to our ships during the 20 minutes we have between jumps, have a quick fly around just to stretch our legs, race back to the fleet carrier. Everybody grabs a seat, and then we have a bit more of a natter. Rinse and repeat, and that's been so much fun, even when we're just traveling. Which is not the experience I had in Distant Worlds 2, because that was very much,
I don't think
I don't
that's
have a
been
hell of a
the
lot of
experience anyone had in mind when we planned this.
No, I love that experience. Whereas in Distant Worlds 2, I usually had enough time just to do the approximately 10,000 light year legs that we had. But I was
It was
pushing
less.
myself to get it done. And it was literally like, okay, I've got a couple of hours tonight, I can now jump. But I don't have that every night of the week. I've only got that a couple of nights a week. So getting from waypoint to waypoint was a lot of effort for me in Distant Worlds 2. And I think if I had to, okay, we've now got better ships, and we've got the, like, in the Caspian, I could probably do it fairly easily. But I don't have to stress about it, and I love that.
One of the things that I've enjoyed watching, because I'm still back in the bubble, but one of the things I've enjoyed watching is Alec is total 180 on Distant Worlds completely, because he said, all right, I'm only going to go for the first one, I'll see how it is, but then I'll be back in the bubble by a week after. He wasn't
You're going to miss his racing.
Yeah, this was his racing. He wasn't. He thought, oh no, I'm only going out for one. But because he enjoyed it so much that he's now out, he's full in with you guys. He's out there. He's doing the time trials, and just to see that level of enthusiasm turn on a dime has been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
So, fair play to you. We'll get our SRV driver back at some point.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I guess we're gonna wrap things up here then. So I can let you go. Nagi can go do his thing, and you guys can, yeah,
There's
wrap
a
up our
little
evenings
shorter
as well.
episode
go
tonight.
back to your life.
Yeah, thank
yeah,
you
so-
very much for joining us. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
been a
thank
pleasure.
you.
It's been lovely coming on and saying hi.
That distracted me. No. Thank you everyone for tuning in. This one was a short episode, unexpectedly, but also not too bad because tangents are there for extending the episodes, but we don't have to go on every time. Anyway, yeah. Again, thank you for tuning in. I hope you had a good time, you two, with us here tonight. Maybe
Yeah, it's
some more
lovely
future
coming in and saying hi.
collaborations between our two radios are in order. Yeah, and thank you for everyone for tuning in again. And this was the official Distant Rails 3 podcast, episode 13, the magic
On
number.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
On
isn't it? I
Friday the
didn't...
13th. See, we
that's only just dawned on me.
just see, we everything falls into place just by winging it. Yeah, we will be next. We will be back next week at the same time.
We will try to. Well,
Since
there's a
since
few
we
people
kinda,
in mind, but it depends if we
Yes.
can get them on here or not.
yeah, that's why we moved back the time for the podcast, so we have better scheduling options. So yeah, thank you everyone once more, and see you next week or whenever someone of us is doing a broadcast or whatever, or out in the black in game. Have a good one. Goodbye.
Bye.